Hey, hi, what's up? It's me. I haven't filmed a video in a while, but I'm filming one now because I have lots of books to share with you guys that I've purchased in the last not very long time, within the last month. I've just been mending my broken heart with books, so I thought I'd show them to you. So, there's a lot, but I didn't spend too much money. I spent like a little bit of money, kind of, and then not a lot of money. So I'm just going to get into it. So I have them in 3 different sections. So I have them in a section of where I spent my own money at my friend's bookstore. A section where I spent gift cards that were gifted to me at Chapters, which I always feel bad buying books not at my friend's bookstore, but I was given gift cards. I don't know what you want me to do. And then the third section is books that I got from a library book sale, and I only paid $5 for the giant amount of books that I got. Alright, so the books that I got at my friend's bookstore, the first one is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson, which I don't even remember what it's about. Mostly I wanted it because of the beautiful cover. And I started reading the synopsis and I didn't get through the synopsis. I read a little bit of it and I was like, yep, I want this book. But there's like magical creatures and they get loose or something and she's responsible and she has to be a badass. I don't know. But like, can we just take a second to appreciate this cover? So yeah, I bought this and it made me happy. Next one that I got was The Binding by Bridget Collins, which I got only because Jasmine from Novel Thoughts was talking about this on Twitter. And the cover, she was like, look at this cover. And then she was like, oh my god, look what it's about. And I was like, that sounds amazing. I would read that. And then I was at the bookstore the next day and I was like, oh my god, someone was just talking about this on Twitter. And it's funny too because I read the first page and I was like, it's fine. It's not like the kind of writing where I'm like, oh, I love this. But it wasn't. It definitely is not bad writing. It's just maybe not necessarily my style that I love. But then I did the thing where you read page 69 because it's not so far into the book that it's going to have spoilers, but it's far enough in that something interesting is happening and it gives you like a good idea if you like the writing style or you like what's kind of happening in the story. So I read page 69 and I really liked what was happening on page 69, so I got it. So this was expensive because it's an adult hardcover, so it was like $32 or something. $33.50. So I spent the most at my friend's bookstore. I think I probably spent close to $100 in books at her store. I also got Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I have finally been convinced to read this book. I don't like these covers as much as the original covers. They are really pretty, but I like the original covers better, but you can't get the original covers anymore. But the spines are really nice, and all 3 spines look really, really pretty next to each other, so I was like, fine, I'll get it. But the friend of mine that I read Six of Crows with, she liked Six of Crows, but she wasn't like in love with it nearly as much as I was. I think it just seems like she doesn't like it because I loved it so much and she just liked it. But I had never been interested in reading Shadow and Bone. I was like, yeah, but it's about like the Grisha army and like that doesn't sound good. Or Grisha, however you say, Grisha? And I didn't really want to read it. And then my friend, who I read Six of Crows with, ended up picking it up at a used bookstore, and she really liked it, and she liked it better than Six of Crows. And she started telling me what it's about, and I was like, that actually sounds really good. And she's like, yeah, I know it is. So I bought it. The last book here that I got at my friend's bookstore is Waiting for Tom Hanks by Carrie Winfrey, and this just sounds adorable. So it's about someone who's basically just looking for like the perfect man. Not Tom Hanks specifically, but the types of people that he plays in movies. So I read page 1 and page 69 and I enjoyed both, so I got this one. Next I'll share with you the books that I got with gift cards. I only spent $8 of my own money, so that makes me feel less bad about not buying books at my friend's bookstore because 2 people gave me gift cards and I was like, well, I guess I'll buy books with them. The first book here is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I've heard so many wonderful things about this. And it's really funny because I've heard a bunch of people on Twitter say that it's like explicitly sexual, like it's sexually explicit. Is that how you say it? Explicitly? It's got explicit sex scenes in it. There we go. And then I've heard other people on Twitter laughing at the people who think it has explicit sex scenes. So I'm really interested to read it and see what kind of sex scenes are in it. But also I've heard that it's very cute and it just is a very good feel-good book. And for this, all I read was the first paragraph. And I was sold from the first paragraph, so I got this. Which this is about the president's son and a prince who fall in love. Next book that I got at Chapters with gift cards was A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. Again, let's enjoy this cover, please. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, I'm pretty sure. I think all I read was the first paragraph in this as well, and I was sold. So I got this. And then I got 3 books that were in the 3 for $10 pile. And I had 2 in my hand, and I was like, well, I need another one because it will be cheaper, because they were $6 if you bought them on their own. So the first one is Borderline by Michelle Baker, which I'm currently reading, which I'm not sure how I feel about it. But it's about someone who has borderline personality disorder, and she tried to kill herself a year before the story starts. And she's been in a psych hospital since that incident, I think, and someone contacts her giving her a job on movie sets, and then she finds out that their job on movie sets is actually dealing with fae, because fae have a big part of movies. And I thought that sounded really cool, and this is an adult book, and I was like, that's really cool, because it's like the type of fantasy story that I really like that I never see in adult stories, which is one of the reasons why I read a lot of like YA, urban fantasy and stuff like that, because those types of stories you only really find in YA. So I was really excited to have that type of story in an adult novel, but I think it's really cheesy. I think I'm going to read a little bit more of it to see if maybe it kind of moves past that. Like, maybe it's just the introduction of the Fae world that's cheesy, and maybe it will be less cheesy after we get over that little hump. That's what I'm hoping for. But it's well written, and I'm not opposed to reading other books by this author. Just so far, I'm not a fan of, like, the execution. But yeah, this is a book haul, not a review, so we'll move on. The other 2 books that I got for the 3 for $10 were 2 classics. Weird, right? So the first one is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, which I read in high school and hated, and a friend of mine challenged me to reread it recently, saying that maybe I would feel differently about it since I'm older and I have different life experiences, and I would be able to, like, look at the story differently, and maybe I would like it. And I agreed, and I said, yes, I will take that challenge. And so my friend that I was with at the bookstore also bought this. We decided to reread it together because she also read it in high school. And I don't think she hated it, but I don't think she loved it. I don't really remember. So I got this. And these were the 2 that I had already picked up because Laura, my friend, also bought this and we were going to read it together. And so I was like, I need a 3rd one. And I was really hoping that they would have, like, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. But they didn't. No one ever has it. So I got Coming Up for Air by George Orwell because it sounded adorable. And it's about someone who something happens, some disaster or something while he's getting his new false teeth. And I just thought it sounded adorable, so I got this one. And the last book that I got at Chapters with gift cards was The Girl Who Could Move Shit With Her Mind by Jackson Ford, which is about someone who's telekinetic and the government is using her for government reasons. And then people are after her or something. I don't know. It just sounded interesting, and the first page was excellent. This is also adult, this is the type of story that I usually only find in YA, and it was an adult, and I was really excited. Alright, so the last section are the books that I got from my library book sale, which I only spent $5 total on all of these books I'm about to show you. So, get ready. There's a lot. So the first book is called The Gum Thief by Douglas Copeland? I bought this because the main character works at Staples. And I was like, that's hilarious. They're an aisles associate, which is not a position anymore, at least in the Canadian Staples, but it was a position for a very long time. It's very newly not a position anymore. But anyway, it actually does sound like an interesting story as well. He's writing a diary as if he's one of the girls who works there. Like, he's like imitating her in diary form or something, and then they end up becoming friends because she finds out that he's doing that, which I don't know why that would make you friends, but anyway, it sounded interesting. So I got that book. I got The Miserable Mill, which is the 4th book in the series of Unfortunate Events. I have the first book in this style, and I just saw this, and so I got it, and hopefully I'll be able to get the whole series in the hardback version. Asking for Trouble by Elizabeth Young, which is a, like, fake relationship story. So she hires someone to pretend to be her boyfriend for her family so they think she has a boyfriend, but then they fall in love for real. So I love those stories, so I'm excited about this one. I got The Nanny Diaries by Emma McLaughlin and Nicola Krauss. I went to the library book sale with 2 friends, and there were 3 copies of this, so we all bought a copy so that we could read it together. Fierce Kingdom by Jen Phillips, which was on my, like, to be read, like, this was a book that I had wanted to read. I just hadn't gotten around to buying it yet, and this is in excellent shape. And I don't even remember what this is about. There's something happening at a zoo where people are being taken hostage or something like that, so it sounded exciting. High Fidelity by Nick Hornby, which is the same author of About a Boy, which I really enjoyed About a Boy, so I figured I'd probably enjoy this too, so I got it. Origin by Jessica Cowery. I don't remember what this is about at all, but I saw it and I was like, I've heard of this book, and grabbed it and put it in my bag. And it's in excellent, perfect condition. Like, I feel like the person who read this, like, didn't even read it, or they just read it gently. Megan McD. It used to belong to Megan McD. Well, guess what, Megan? It belongs to me now. Eligible by Curtis... Is that an S or an L? Curtis Litterfield? It's a modern retelling of Pride and Prejudice, and one of my friends that I went to the book sale with saw this and put it in my bag because she's read it, and she said it was really good. I got Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. This was just another thing where I was like, oh, I've heard of this book, so I just grabbed it and put it in my bag. It was, you could fill a grocery bag of books for $5, so any book that I got, it didn't cost me extra unless it got to the point where I needed to get another bag because my bag was overflowing. So pretty much I saw a book I've heard of, I grabbed it. Anne and the French Kiss by, I know who this author is, I'm not going to look, Stephanie Perkins. Which I wasn't sure if I wanted to read this book. I feel like it's been overhyped, and I feel like it's not going to live up to the hype for me. But also, I'm pretty sure someone is cheating on their significant other in this. It might be one of the other books in this trilogy, I can't remember, but I can't remember if it's this book or one of the other books, but I know one book, someone is cheating, and in one of the other books, the guy is way older. And I don't like either of those things, but it didn't cost me extra to get it, so I got it. Ruby Red by Kirsten Gier, which is about a girl who time travels, and I'm pretty sure this was originally written in German and it's been translated, so it probably also takes place in Germany, which is kind of cool. I really wanted to read this back in the day when I was new at BookTube, and I feel like it was still like fairly young at the time, because the hardcover version of this was so pretty, and it was still basically the same. It was a girl in a red dress on the front, but the way it was designed and how much of her dress you saw was so much prettier. And I remember when it came out in paperback and I couldn't find it in hardcover anymore, I was like, I don't want it anymore. I don't like this cover. But that's a stupid reason not to get a book, so I have it now. The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which I almost purchased with my gift card at Chapters, brand new for full price, but then I am actually at $100 worth of points on my Chapters points card, so now I can go back to Chapters and get $100 worth of books for free, which is really exciting. And so I was like, oh, I'll probably just get it next time when I can spend my $100, and then this was at the book sale. It has like a bend down the front, but other than that, it's also a library copy, so it has like the library thing on the side, and on the back, but like, it's basically brand new. This is like a Groundhog Day story, except the girl keeps dying in it, I'm pretty sure, or she dies 7 times, I guess. And I got My Friend Leonard by James Frey. This, I was inspired by the spine. I saw the spine and I was like, this is very cute. And then I took it out and I was like, oh, there's an ashtray on the front. That's gross. But there were 3 copies of it, and so me and my 2 friends each got a copy so we could read this together as well. I don't know what it's about. Again, same thing. It didn't cost us extra to get it, and it was a cute spine, and it's called My Friend Leonard, which is also cute. So there's that. And then I got Her Fearful Symmetry by Audrey Niffenegger. And I don't know what it's about, but the cover is gorgeous. And it's in really good condition, and it's not a library copy, so it doesn't have stickers on it or anything. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And it's by the same author who wrote The Time Traveler's Wife, which I have not read, but I have seen the movie, which I know is not the same thing, but I love the movie, and so I was just like, well, I'm gonna add it to my bag, and I'm gonna get it. So there we go. I have it now. And the last book here is Timeline by Michael Crichton. The only books I've read by Michael Crichton are Jurassic Park and The Lost World, which I loved those both. I think my brother has said that Timeline was a really good one of his, and he was really disappointed in the movie. Like, the book was so much better, which, like, of course. But I saw it there and I was like, oh, I should get this! And so I did. Anyway, those are all my books. I don't even want to attempt a thumbnail. I don't know what to do about this. I guess I'll just put some of them in my thumbnail and not all of them, because, like, who are we kidding? I can't lift all those.